This is what I call in my terminology the most hungriest time to do a panel. People are hungry and that hunger turns into anger in no time, right? So we are not going to take much time. Will you all do a small activity with me? All of us? People are just staring at me. That means two things. Either you're understanding everything or you're understanding nothing. I hope it's the second one. Right? Will you do a small activity with me? Yes or no? Yes. One quick activity with all of us. The purpose of the activity is very simple. We are educators. We teach a lot of students and teachers. Do you want your teachers and students to listen to you? Yes or no? Yes. For that, you have to listen to me. Simple. Will you stand up for a minute, please, including the panelists? Let's do a quick activity. Very, very, very quick. Right? So when I say 1, you will stomp your right foot on the ground. Very, very loudly, the people in the next room should be able to hear us. When I say 1, right foot on the ground. Is that okay, everyone? Come on, 1. Super. When I say 2, you will stomp the left foot on the ground. Is that okay? Come on, 2. Lovely. When I say 3, you will turn around and give a high five, clap, non-slap, to the person next to you. Okay, don't turn around and slap. I'm saying a clap again. So when I say 3, turn around, high five to the person next to you. One condition, everyone has to clap together. The whole audience, one noise. Is that okay, everyone? Come on, coordinated clap, okay? 3. Wow. That was the worst coordination I've seen in my life. Let me tell you that. Shall we try that again? 3. My God, I thought the previous one was bad. I can see where the confusion is. Some people are literally going around, whom do I clap? I'm giving you 5 seconds. Decide whom you're going to clap. And listen. If there's nobody next to you, put both your hands in the air and clap. Have I made your life simple? I'm giving you 5 seconds. Decide whom you're going to clap. Okay? Ready? 3. And we're getting there. So now we'll do all 3 together. 1 right foot, 2 left foot, 3 clap. Is that okay, everyone? 1 right foot, 2 left foot, and 3 clap. Okay? Come on, start. 1, 2, 3. Super. One more time. Come on. 1, 2, 3. One last time. Full energy. Come on. 1, 2. Hello? What happened? Were the instructions clear? Still you didn't follow? So exactly same things happen with students as well. We give clear instructions. They don't follow. So don't get angry on them like I'm not getting angry on you. Okay? Thank you. A big round of applause for all of you, please. Come on, quickly. Right? We're talking about AI. AI basically brings a lot of questions, lot of thoughts, lot of points to my mind. Right? And I come from India. In India, there's a big discrepancy. Some schools have all fantastic models. They come and tell us, sir, we've got chatbots for our students. Whereas some schools come and tell us, sir, I don't know whether our children will get the afternoon meal or not. The government schools especially. Right? However, William Gibson says a very beautiful statement. He says the future is already here. Unfortunately, it's evenly distributed, so it's unevenly distributed. So we are assuming the context of a global scale that if AI story were to come true, how would schools manage? How would leaders look at it? How can we use that to our benefit? That's the whole theme of the problem. I know there are 100 issues. I know there are 100 questions. But we are optimists. If we want to look at the positive side of the story, how do we want to go about approaching AI? Right? That's the whole point that I'm trying to cater to this. We've got a very, very erudite panel full of fantastic experts from various backgrounds with lots and lots of decades of experience combined together. So I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting and a very beautiful learning experience. Right? So let me start with Dr. Anjuli. AI is what I believe. With me, I'll share my story. When I'm chatting with ChatGPT regarding my business, regarding my personal things, it helps me a lot of personalization. It gives me solutions which are catered to me. So when I talk about AI in a global context inside the classroom, can it help in personalizing learning is what I want to understand, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. And absolutely yes, but I think the bigger challenge is definitely AI is here to stay. And anyone who says that it will wipe away teachers is wrong. But there is another reality that those teachers who don't learn to use AI will be replaced by teachers who can use AI. And as a school leader, I think our responsibility is to train our teachers to use AI effectively. So personalization, we've been talking about it for many years. It needs to happen. It's the need. Our children deserve it. And I think it becomes easier for the teacher using AI to personalize. So definitely one area that we in our school look at very carefully to begin with is for students with diverse needs, because they need that specialized focus, and not all teachers can do that, but AI can definitely help using various tools, adaptive platforms. What we've also done this year is we've appointed leads in our school who know AI, who love AI, and they are working with micro groups, and they are training them in subject related adaptive platforms. We also done one thing. While CBSE has offered AI in senior grades, we have now started offering it right from grade 1. So we are introducing children to AI as a part of the curriculum, but a greater focus for me as a principal is to ensure that our teachers learn how to use it, and it's pretty fascinating to see how they are using it. We are piloting it more in middle school and with our special needs children.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause for ma'am, please? So one very important fascinating point that I could find in this particular answer was the medium who's using that. So the teachers that she spoke about, training them, interacting them with technology, and then with the students is going to add a lot of value rather than directly doing it with the students. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. I'd like to come to Dr. Jasjit. Very important question. Right? We talk about using technology, and nowadays, I was speaking in the morning panel as well. I said, many students have outsourced their thinking as well to ChatGPT. They just go online. I have a simple email to write. Can you draft an email for me? I can't go to school today. Can you make an excuse for me? Right? To that extent, many people are using it. In the future, is there a possibility that we can lose the human touch? Because in schools, I believe that is the most important. They are not only academic centers of learning, but socio-emotional centers of learning as well. So how important is the human touch in the age of AI, ma'am?
Very cheerful. Good afternoon to all. Very pertinent question. As we see with invasion of artificial intelligence in almost every segment of schooling, be it pedagogy, development or assessment, because we are using a lot of tools, which are AI tools, we are basically shifting from human touch to hominoid touch. Now in this, why we feel that this shift is there, perhaps it's in the mindset of teachers or educators that if AI will be there or they will be using AI tools, perhaps human touch will lose. Ultimately, if we learn it, as ma'am has told, that if we learn how to use technology appropriately, I think human touch will not lose, rather it will become strong. So first way is that because using AI tools, teachers get a lot of free time, because whatever they used to do in couple of days, now it is done at click of mouse, be it preparing of assignments or doing assessments or report generation. All these things are done very quickly, so teachers will get appropriate and sufficient time to interact with students. And second is using learning management systems very effectively. I think that will increase teacher or human touch with students. The way you have designed the homework and way you have designed the time slot for the students when they will be remotely present, or you are using Kahoot or learning management system wherein students are logging at a particular time doing the assignments, and you are giving the appropriate feedbacks. Even at home, the students will feel that they are connected to their teacher. I think this thing is very important. The way you use the technology, that is more important. So here I will end with the 1 minute activity. All of you can cross your arms. Naturally, you cross your arms. Your arms. Yes. Now you can see which hand is up, whether it is right or left. Some may be having right or some may be having left. Same way our classroom is diverse. Teacher need to cater to each and every student. Now cross your arms again, but this time the other hand should be up or the other way. You will find little bit difficult, isn't it? So that is the little extra teachers need to do nowadays, because we are using new thing, artificial intelligence. So little extra when teachers will do extra effort and empower themselves with the tools and how to use the tools effectively, I think we will never lose human touch. Thank you.
So I think a very important perspective that ma'am shared here, the human touch will never ever go away. And that is what I am also a very firm believer of, because we've been talking technology for years. When the smart classrooms came, somebody said teachers will go away. Smart assessments came, somebody said teachers will go away. Some other technology came, somebody said teachers will go away. Chat GPT came, somebody said teachers will never ever go away. That's a fact that we all need to accept first. Because teachers with technology is a powerful combination. Only technology without a teacher will never ever function is what we are firm believers of, right? So I want to talk about technology in a broad term with Amit, Baveja. Before I come to that, we're talking about technology. Can I do a small survey with the audience so that I can check if you're awake or not? All of you all, yes or no? Okay, let me see how many are using technology to the maximum use here, right? Everybody's here using social media? Yeah. Okay, let me check. How many of you are on Facebook? Can you please raise your hands? How many of you are on Facebook? Wow, close to 90%. How many of you are on Instagram? Can you please raise your hands? I can see 10% of the hands down, 80%. How many of you are on Snapchat? Now I can see only 6 hands up. How many of you are on Discord? Some people are looking at each other and saying, what the hell is he talking about? What I'm trying to say is technology is moving so fast, we are not even aware of what children are using. I'll share a simple example. During COVID, at a city called Pune in India, a very funny incident happened. The teachers used to conduct online tests during COVID, you all remember? So one teacher put up the questions. One smart student knew all the answers. He went to an app called Discord, pasted all the answers. The whole class copied the answers and the full class scored full marks. First test, full marks. Second test, full marks. After the third test, when everybody scored full marks, even the teacher started wondering, am I such a good teacher that after I teach, everybody ends up scoring full marks, right? So that is when I want to make you realize we don't have to become champions of technology as teachers, but at least keep a track of what is going on. That will help you to interact better with students. So I'm talking about technology in general. AI is a part of it, right? So Amit, coming to you, Amit Baveja, because we have 2 Amits in our panel, right? So I want to ask you, what lessons can we draw from the broader adoption of technology rather than seeing only from the lens of AI? And if we were to adopt technology, how can I integrate AI in the whole landscape?
Yeah, so...
and I'm sure you come from a tech background as well in your early days, so I think that will be an added value to us.
So I was just coming to that. With my, 24, 25 years of work experience, 14 years I've worked in banking and telecom. And I just want to cite examples in the banking space to start with. We all have had experience in visiting banks decades back. How many of us go there now? So just imagine how the banking has become so personalized over a period of time. Likewise, if you see the telecom space back in India, 85% of the population size of about 120 crore population or 140, they are using technology as a forefront. And why they are able to scale, it's only because of the injection that has been provided to them through the advent of technology and AI. So that's played an amazing role in terms of the growth story there. And that has helped in the scalability of the industry. Coming back to Dubai, if we land in Dubai, the moment you come here for the second time or more, there is no immigration required. It's all AI. And you are inside in 2 seconds. That's AI. That's the power of AI that we've all seen when we land here. So I think what we are trying to say here is the customer experience, the scalability, and the fastest growth is possible if we have technology as a larger tool enabled as part of a school system there. Having said that, I completely agree with you. I think we will never be able to replace the teacher. Teacher will be at the core and they will be at the forefront in terms of what we do in the school space.
Fantastic. So I think what he's trying to convey here is a very important point. That's the key takeaway for me. Adapting to change is very, very crucial, right? So teachers should use these modern tools, and how do you integrate them seamlessly is what the story is all about, the success story. So coming to Amit again, right? Amit Washington this time. Amit, we are talking about AI, ChatGPT, all that is for regular basic stuff, right? If I was a board or a council or a government body, how would I use AI for two things? A, for creating new curriculum of the future. B, predicting that 15 years, 20 years down the line, how would the education system be like, right? So my question to you is, how is AI changing curriculum design and preparing students for the future careers? Because many careers that exist today were non-existent 10 years back. So I'm sure the same story will repeat 10 years later as well. So what's your advice?
Okay, thanks for the question. Artificial intelligence, as we know, is a very important aspect. We just had a display of our product, RIA. So we are firm believers of how exponential technologies, artificial intelligence is one of those technologies, is rapidly changing the world. It is in fact been described as a moonshot moment. A moonshot moment is when President Kennedy launched the landing of Apollo 11 on the moon. That was a moonshot moment. Or innovation of electricity was a moonshot moment. And it is set the same for artificial intelligence, that this is one, and you can have many quotations from Sundar Pichai, from Google and other Microsoft, Satya Nadella. They said this is the moonshot moment for humanity. So that is very clear that artificial intelligence is extremely important. In terms of content, as we all understand and we are also aware, that cannot be static anymore. What is more prevalent is smart content, which is hybrid in nature, which assesses the capabilities of the learner, which paces out depending on what is the cognitive ability of a student. It could be videos, it could be 3D simulations, it could be XR, immersive technology content, and so on and so forth. A lot of that content, what we saw a little before the session, was RIA could manage some of those things. So smart content is something which is very, very important. It also, artificial intelligence has the capability of profiling students, and therefore what kind of content would suit a certain student best is what smart content is all about. So I think the future of content with artificial intelligence is going to be smart content. In terms of the future of the job market, so as an organization, Xarpie, which I represent, we are strong believers that there's going to be a complete disruption. It is already happening in the corporate sectors. Jobs are just vanishing and new jobs are being created. In fact, it has been said by 2030, 85% of the jobs that will exist then are not even known to us right now. So it's not about how do we skill students, it's about how do we change the mindset and also enable them through their school education or college education to embrace and effectively use exponential technology. So come 2030, 2029, they are ready. That's the only way to go about. So that is the future of the jobs. So we are firm believers that there are three very important jobs apart from everything else. Is entrepreneurship, we put that as a job, or entrepreneurship or solopreneurship, where you are able to develop certain mindset that allows you to think exponentially, develops challenges, social challenges, global challenges, solutions for those, and be able to create massive impact on human race. So that is the kind of journey that we look at as a technology company who is very focused on education. So to answer that question.
Thank you so much. So again, two important takeaways. One is that while curriculum, will matter beyond the point, but if children are not equipped with the requisite skills, the 21st century skills or the life skills that they're called by many, communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, if we don't teach students this, it's always going to be a challenge, right? And second, it's about the mindset more than the curriculum. That's very, very important point here. Thank you so much. Right, coming to you, Asha ma'am. Dubai is known as the epicenter of technology of late, I think, right? Somebody was sharing in the panel today morning that it's in fact among the top 5 in the world as far as the use of AI and research on AI is concerned, right? So I'm sure the schools also will have the same responsibility of adopting to global best practices. So if you could share some global best practices in technology and AI that many schools can learn from or adopt to going forward in the future, ma'am.
So thank you and good afternoon, everyone. To start, around 14 years ago, I introduced digital learning in my school. And that was a really changing moment because at those days, we were a traditional CBSE school. We had taken away all our textbooks. And you can imagine the furor 14 years ago when we embarked as a primary school relying on digital technology. But it served us well because when COVID hit, I think we transitioned seamlessly because children and teachers and parents were adept with the use of technology. So I firmly believe that you've got to give children and teachers the opportunity to use these resources. Talking about AI is one thing, but actually implementing it is totally different. So without the hardware, without the ability to use and giving them the opportunities, you can't become adept users of technology. I know we hear a lot. I just heard about experiential learning. And while I'm an advocate for experiential learning as well, AI has its place in the school. It's going to pervade every single industry. It's going to go through our classrooms at a pace that can be overwhelming. So one of the things I do in school, I'm not going to advocate. What I'm going to say is that I focus on developing skills in teachers and students which is selective because you can't master AI. By the time you master a tool, it has become redundant. But what do I need? I need children and teachers to become aware of the skills required to operate this. So along with the many skills of problem solving and critical thinking, I think children have to learn adaptability and teachers also, not to become reliant on mastering something, but quickly change as the technology evolves. So that's a focus. Children and teachers should be able to self-evaluate and say, how good am I at this? How can I get better? And understand those gaps. So it is not about saying my best practice would be develop skills because the skills will stay, the technology will continue to evolve. And don't be afraid. I think technology is here to augment and automate rather than take away what teachers and students can do. We have created technology. It is not going to become so overwhelming. The only thing additionally I give my students is the ethical use of AI. AI has its pros and cons. Teach our children to be able to learn from AI and use it effectively in the real world. Use it for the good. Any kind of knowledge can be used for the good of man or it can be used to the detriment. We've seen the atom bombs and the nuclear bombs. We need to understand AI has its pros and cons. As educators, let us be fearless. Teach children how to use AI ethically and safely. And these, I think, are the best practices that I would share. Don't overwhelm your teachers. Be fearless in exploring. There's no harm. Understand you cannot master AI because it's going to keep evolving. And teach children and teachers to take quick decisions and be adaptable to change that is coming. The journey we started 14 years continues, and I can tell you, my children are living testaments to effective use of AI and robotics and digital learning in our school. So that's all.
Thank you so much. So I think 3 very, very clear and simple messages. A, don't overwhelm your teachers. Very important. B, learn skills. And third is give them the chance, give them that exposure. I think that really helps them in growing more, right? Thank you so much. And ma'am, last question to you. When you're implementing any new thing, I'm sure lots of challenges come up, right? Because ultimately we're dealing with human beings, be it parents, be it teachers, be it students. There are bound to be challenges when we implement new things, right? So I just, again, sharing an example from India. I was doing a session on a national education policy which had come up in India. I was doing a session with almost 100 plus teachers, and one senior lady on the front row was smiling throughout the session. And I asked her, ma'am, either you like the NEP a lot or you liked my session a lot. You are smiling through the entire session. She said, no, I'm retiring next month. I don't have to do all this. That's why I'm smiling. Right? So there's always a challenge when it comes to implementing new things when you're dealing with human beings, right? So there are 2 approaches. One is a surgical approach. We want to do this. And second, as they say in India, Sarji, kal, we'll do it tomorrow. We don't want to do it right now, right? So, ma'am, how do we manage these challenges when it comes to integration or implementing AI or new technology in the classroom?
So, happy afternoon, everybody. A very crucial question, Mr. Brijesh. When you look at AI, the integration of AI or AI-powered tools that we are talking about, and that's available in abundance now, I think it has huge potential. It holds great promise. But the key challenges are the ones that can make or even damage, the dreams or the purpose of integrating that. Something that there's few of these challenges that come to my mind right now. One is certainly lack of digital infrastructure. And I'm talking this not from this, this particular place because we are privileged lot and the students and the schools are. I'm talking from the global perspective. We are talking about AI powered tools where we are talking about high internet speeds, the devices, the hard and software infrastructure, and basic thing as electricity availability that some of the regions or the schools can't even dream of. Forget about technology. They are struggling with the basic education system they are trying to implement. So one of the UNESCO report of 2023 says that across the schools globally, only 53% of schools have access to internet. And if you go to the sub-Saharan African region, this drops down to just 11%. So you can just imagine we are talking about implementing AI tools and getting diversified, but there are schools that are struggling with digital infrastructure. So that's there on top of my mind as a challenge. Second comes teacher readiness and training. I heard people here, my co-panelists also talk about that. One is, if you look at the question to be asked is, are our teachers prepared for it? It's overwhelming for the teachers. I was just reading an article yesterday, Brijesh, that tells that, in fact, that projected that in the last few months, more than 30,000 AI tools were made available. So you can imagine navigating through that and trying to understand what is needed, is a huge detrimental factor, I would say. So look at the significant skill gap that is there. So unless and until we hold hands of teachers, it's very difficult for them to navigate. And this is again validated by the McKinsey report of 2024 that, the cohort that they conducted says only 20% of teachers were confident about using AI tools. So they need a lot of hand-holding, a lot of continuous professional development. And when you talk about AI tools, you're talking about sharing a lot of student data. So one challenge, a concern is student data privacy and cyber security. Again, this is further confirmed by IBM report that was there in 2023 that says that out of the 5 top organizations, education sector happens to be one of the 5 that is prone to cyber attacks. So you need to have AI governance and policies in place to make sure that the student data privacy is protected. And along with that, of course, the cyber aspects. Then, of course, you talk about funding and sustainability. Looking back, validating, it was interesting to note UNESCO's, again, 2023 report saying that in the low-income countries, only 1% of the education budget was kept aside for digital transformation. So here we are not talking about the privileged countries or the privileged schools. You talk about those millions of schools across the world that can't even think about a digital transformation. So funding, sustainability also happens to be a huge factor. Besides that, you have the ethical usage of, I heard even Asha speak about that, the ethical usage of AI. And it was interesting to note that somebody resonated with that talk earlier in the talk saying that we're forgetting to think actually. Students, that is our biggest. We are all obviously advocates of digital learning and AI, but why talk about students? Even when I got this question and topics, the first thing I did is put it into ChatGPT to understand, can I get some data? Frankly speaking, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. I would have literally gone and try to take things from my experience. So ethical usage. then you have obviously.
Have to give you 1 minute to wind up.
Yes.
The organizers over there was
So I
pull me
think-
down.
Yeah, so on top of the mind, the biggest as a personal and as an educator would be, I would say, the acceptance, the resistance factor, and the change mindset. Because probably teachers are getting overwhelmed. I think there is a lot of resistance that we see. And a study that was conducted again says that 48% of the school principals mention that the staff resistance to change is one of the biggest factor. So I think unless and until these things are taken care, our very dream of driving educational ecosystem into more digital world will become a problem.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So can we have a huge round of applause for all the panelists first? I think we have so many points more to cover. Unfortunately, time doesn't permit. So any new technology, I've worked with technology in schools for 15 years. I always advise school 5 points. Whenever you want a new tool, always do the A, B, C, D, E of it. A is analyze, do you really need that new technology for your school? Do you need that, or are you doing it just because somebody else is doing it as well? So analysis is very, very important before you embark on a new adventure of starting a new technology maneuver in your school. B is brainstorm with your team. Sometimes I've seen the heads have loved it. Teachers don't know what to do with it. Parents are not aware what's going on, and it fails miserably. So before you do anything in your school, are you brainstorming with all the stakeholders? This is what we are planning. This is what we are thinking. What is your thought on this? Once you've reached on the decision, C is communicate. Communicate to all the stakeholders what we are doing, how we are doing, when we are doing, what could be the repercussions, first 3 months, what will happen, what can work, cannot work. D is deployment. Once you've done that, deploy the technology. And lastly, E is evaluate. I think this formula will really help you in analyzing any new tool before you directly get into it, right? So that's all. Thank you to all the panelists. We would have loved to take questions, but we have run out of time. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thanks a lot.